Good morning, traders. Happy Tuesday, April 1st. Welcome back to another live stream here. If you're new, my name is Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. Before we jump onto the charts, make sure you read what's on the screen. Trading is risky. Most traders do lose money. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. I'm just an idiot here from YouTube. Do your own research, make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links in my content. Let's jump onto the charts, check this stuff out. Continuing this exciting week here, we have some big stuff to talk about. First off, I don't have that top one futures account, that test account loaded up. They are getting ready to launch tomorrow. That's the game plan to go live. Website will be live. Link is in the chat. That should be working by tomorrow. Those accounts will be ready to roll for everybody, and they're doing some back-end work. So I don't have that test account to show again to you guys today, but be talking about the rules, some pricing, a little bit more detail, a little bit more comparison on those today. I have my TradingView chart loaded up right here. This is Tradeify accounts. I got 5 of them, copy trading together. Probably going to trade these really aggressively because I'm not a fan of this this Tradeovate to TradingView, and I really have plenty of options now on Project X. So I don't know that I'll really be patient with these. I'll probably get really aggressive and stand the risk to blow them quickly. Along with that, I got my top step accounts loaded up on the other side. Market is open now. We are at 9:35 a.m. We'll talk about market, but first, want to just take a quick look at news with you guys. Gonna get some trading in this morning, if possible, with you. 9:45 a.m. we have final manufacturing PMI, and then we have red folder at 10 a.m. ISM manufacturing PMI. Those suck to be right in the middle of my session, right? 9:45 and 10 a.m. That's pretty tough. It doesn't give us a lot of time to get trades on between now and let's say like 10:05, 10:10 a.m. at very best. And then after that, you are structuring trades on, potential news, market structure and price action. So this is going to be a little bit interesting. We'll see what this looks like, but we'll trade our way around that if at all possible. So let's jump onto the charts. But again, 9:45 a.m., 10 a.m. news. We want to be cautious of that. We have our 9 a.m. open. My 9:30 a.m. open right here. Let's jump out to the daily, like you so often see me do. Just kind of take a look at what we're looking at here. Can get rid of that volume profile. So kind of interesting, right? Kind of interesting what we're seeing here. We had a crack back up to the upside after this gnarly pullback. Really heavy selling pressure coming all the way into the end of last week. This is Friday's candle here on ES. We had a sell-off at the open yesterday, and then a nice bullish candle form. We really rallied into the afternoon, that 2-3 o'clock time frame. We were on a strong grind to the upside. So taking a look at this on, let's go to like a 15-minute, just kind of see what this looks like. Here was yesterday's session, right? Sell off at the open, recovery. We kind of chopped around here for a while into the morning until about 11 o'clock. Saw a really nice pop up, and then here we are, 2 o'clock, where we just really had a big extension back up to the upside. Overnight session, we chopped. We looked like we wanted to test it in pre-market. We wanted to come back up to the highs. Sold back off, got down below lows, and now we are opening up to the downside here. So this could be interesting. Again, one thing that we have going on, first day of the month, but one thing we have going on behind the scenes, I usually don't talk too much about fundamentals, but this is a unique one, and this administration has really been heavily impacting the markets in a way that I'm just not used to, frankly. We have Trump calling tomorrow, what is he calling it? Liberation Day? Is that what he's calling it? I don't want to get it wrong. I was going to say Annihilation Day. I might as well say it. I was going to say Annihilation Day, but that's not what it is. It's Liberation Day. But I have to, fact check myself. So he's calling tomorrow, April 2nd, Liberation Day, where he's going to be discussing the tariffs are supposed to go into effect, essentially. So what does that mean for the markets, right? I don't know whether it's going to go up or down. I don't know how all that's going to play, and I don't really care. What I know is that when we have a large planned financial news event or a political event, geopolitical event that is likely to impact the markets, tomorrow, we may see some anticipation of that today. We may see some consolidation, some choppy markets, right? Usually ahead of big red folder news events, we potentially see some chop, some consolidation. We just, don't have a lot of action. That is kind of a little bit of a thesis I bring into the trading session. Just a hair, right? Do I backtest with that? No. Do I really trade off of that? No. I trade off of the technicals, right in front of me, the chart right in front of me. So we're here on ES this morning, same setup that I've been running with you guys for months. I'm just to talk a little bit about my trading. I know I'm a little bit all over the place this morning. I'm likely going to be continuing to trade ES off the open. I really like it over NQ, which can just be too wild. I have been having great success with scalping NQ on low time frames in calmer, choppier conditions, mostly into the afternoon. Maybe I'll run some live sessions at a certain point on that. But for right now, it's going to be ES. One additional thing I'm looking at is same approach, same everything that I do on ES, but just a little bit higher time frame, a little bit more zoomed out. Why? I'm now managing a large portfolio of prop firm accounts, and I'm struggling to get the trading in on all of them. And without the ability to copy trade all of them at the exact same time yet, although I do use Trade Syncer for Tradeify and Tradeivate, I struggle a little bit just to find the time to trade, right? So many different accounts. So I may start to put some just a little bit higher time frame trades, still intraday, still on ES, just looking for the larger portion of that move. Maybe, starting in the morning, maybe into the middle of the day, afternoon. I'm not exactly sure, but I find myself with a lot of accounts that go untraded, right? And that's not a good thing. So just kind of the general update there. Again, on Tradeify, I'm not a big fan of this Tradeivate to trading view. I can't scalp on it. It just does not play nice with me. So I'm probably going to trade these really aggressively, again, to make some room for top 1 futures, which I'm super hyped about. Launching tomorrow. I'm going to have 3 fresh accounts to be focused on, along with 5 from Tradeify, 5 from Top Step. It's a lot. It's a lot of accounts. So probably going to trade these really aggressively, kind of see how that lands, whether I blow them or grow them, work my way to a payout or not. This way I have some more room to focus on Project X with top 1 futures, and then of course, Top Step, which I have my 5, and then more accounts on backup. So I'm probably just gonna back my foot off the gas a little bit here. Hopefully in the near future, we get Trade Syncer that integrates with Project X, and we can copy trade everything at once, and we won't have to worry about any of this. I could use my Project X platform as my lead account, hoping that comes up really soon. But until then, it's a little bit tough to have to bounce between so many different accounts. And if I take a really aggressive, labor-intensive scalping approach, which I like to do and I find the most effective for me, I have to do that across multiple platforms, which is difficult. So anyway, that's a little bit just of an update kind of stuff that you'll see. I always talk with you guys on these live sessions, talk in Discord, share stuff on social media, just kind of about that. Probably make a little Twitter post on that. I'm gonna get stupid aggressive in these accounts and probably blow them, but make some room for top 1 futures, and then hopefully be able to refocus on everything once we get Trade Syncer across all of them. But again, talking markets with you guys here. If you hopped on late, I don't have the top 1 futures Project X platform loaded up. Those guys are getting ready to launch tomorrow. The data feeds are kind of I won't go into detail, but they are getting ready to launch tomorrow, so they're not having us mess around in the test accounts today. So I'm here loaded up with my prop firms from Tradeify and Top Step right now. Going to be talking top 1 futures. Got a little bit more details to share with you guys, but right now, right off the bat, I'm looking at this market just consolidate right around VWAP. Again, if you hopped on late, we really had a rally yesterday after initial dip below the prior day's low off the open. We rallied up after this morning kind of sell off and then consolidation, and then right into the afternoon, really, really strong push to the upside. So we got a wide daily candle, prior day's high and prior day's low, all the way down here. You can see the volume profile from yesterday, value area high, right where we're sitting at, just below right now. Overnight low down here. Yeah, yesterday's volume point of control and value area low is actually the bottom as well. So we're kind of just chopping around VWAP, right? Talked about potentially seeing some consolidation, some chop ahead of Trump's Liberation Day tomorrow, where tariffs are expected to go into effect. This could be dicey. This could be a choppy, kind of rangy day. I'm going to wait to see if we get some movement to the downside. I might look to sell into that. We start to crack to the upside outside of this area of high volume that we're looking at here, right? Kind of where we're consolidating. We start to get outside of that to the upside or downside. I may look to take it in that direction. But for now, just going to sit patient. That's going to be the game plan. What's up, guys? Good morning. Good morning. Lots of news today. Jolt's red folder. Yep. Again, we talked about 9:45 and 10 a.m. We have orange folder and red folder news. Looked at that together. We can do that one more time. It is not great to have that type of news, you know, right here. 9:45 coming up in just about 45 seconds. Red folder right here at 10 a.m. Kind of right in the middle of my trading session. Not really what I want for the day, but we'll see. We'll see how it starts to form. Again, I'm getting more aggressive in these accounts. I'm looking to make some way for top 1 futures, and I'm not really enjoying this setup between Tradeovate, which is not my preferred platform, and TradingView, which I'm on right now, which is a little bit laggy. But that's the deal. Good question, Ryan. I'm going to drop that TradeSync. For anyone that's interested, TradeSync is a cloud-based copy trading platform. Really, really cool. I'm partnered with them. You know, full disclaimer there. But the answer to that question is no. The answer to that question is no, because we don't have Project X integration yet. So if my accounts are on Top 1 Futures and Top Step, and I have Project X platform selected, I cannot integrate with TradeSync across Tradeovate. It's a Project X deal. It's not their deal. Nobody can integrate with Project X yet until they open up API access. Then we'll be able to copy trade everything under the sun. But right now, you're able to copy trade across prop firm accounts and across firms with TradeSync, so long as you have one of the platforms that they integrate with. Tradeovate being one of them, which you're able to do. So that's the answer there. But I'm really excited. I'm bullish on that. I'd like to just be able to trade off of one lead account on Project X, right? Make it real simple. Maybe do a couple groups, you know, just to spread risk, but not have to deal with Tradeovate. I'm just not a fan of it. Again, I don't think there's anything wrong with Tradeovate. I'm just not a huge fan. You know, it's not my preferred platform. It's not what my eyes are trained on. I'm like, you know, a bull in a china shop, constant fat finger mistakes. So, but super hyped. Top 1 futures, ready for that. Just watching this market start to drift to the top end of this consolidation. We did have 9:45 news just then as I was talking. Not a lot of reaction at all out of that. 10 a.m. we're likely to get some movement. I don't know exactly how I want to play this. I'm pretty unbiased here, right? Higher time frame, selling off really aggressively, pull back up, and then sell off really, really aggressively. Yesterday, rally. Now we got consolidation, chop around VWAP. This is not super clear from a directional standpoint, at least for me. I would look to take, you know, somewhat small trades, short time frame scalp style trades if we had some movement here. But right off the rip, this isn't really giving me a lot to work with. If I zoom out on the 5-minute, let this visible range volume profile reset. You know, I think we pull back down towards this temporary, prior day's volume point of control, this area of high volume. If we start to come to the downside, that would be a play I would take. We start to break to the upside, I'm a little more cautious. I think we're likely to go check this area out. I'm not going to trade towards that right now, but I could certainly see that as the first play through this news that we're going to get here shortly. We start to crack above that, and we really look like we're going to have a bullish day. I could go for that. You know, I could look at longs. Yeah, there's a breakout to the upside, like just to this area right here, if you wanted it. You know, I'll call that price action. You know, we chopped around VWAP. We couldn't move lower. Sellers can't take it lower. We're testing the highs here, and we're breaking out to the upside. So again, long, just as I said there, could be a play. Just not a great way to structure risk, right? Like, where does a stop loss go on this? Could go in the middle of this zone. I think that's a pretty crappy place to put it. would have to go all the way down below this low of the session. Not a good way to structure risk. I would only be looking for, initially a move right up here. We'll zoom out just right to this area of consolidation, right here into this area of volume, maybe before overnight high and prior day high. So not something that I want to take. I would really need some structure to the upside to take it. I would definitely look for a move. If we came to the downside, started cracking back through this low, I'm looking short down to this volume point of control. But this isn't giving me a lot to work with so far. And that's okay. That's okay. 10 minutes to red folder news of the day. We will see what that starts to look like. Probably best to wait for a break of the 15-minute opening range and after news. Yeah. So we are getting a break of the 15-minute opening range, right? Because this was our 15-minute opening range low. This was our 15-minute opening range high right here. So your orb break to the upside is already happening. If you like to take that, there you go. That gave you 8.5 points, 34 ticks, right to the top of that. But again, not a good way to structure risk, right? Like if I'm placing a buy right here, right now, kind of like I was talking about, just to break out to the upside, where does my stop loss go? That's where it would make sense, right? Really highly likelihood that this gets retested. We chopped here a million times. We got our fair value area, not fair value gap, our area of fair value around this volume weighted average price, around this area of high volume. I don't think it would be great to have a stop loss like that. So way down here, and what would that mean for risk to reward? So not a lot to work with there. If we had some kind of low over here, different structure, maybe that would be looking okay, to this area, which we look like we're going to want to go test. So hanging out for this news, 10 a.m. red folder news coming up, guys, just in about 9 minutes. I would be cautious if you are trading this right here, right now on any of the U.S. indices. Ryan, question. Can you just use copy trade for Top Step and Tradeify, which would be one action, and then have top one accounts connected separately to separate copy trader? Maybe I don't copy trade, so not very educated, but it's my guess for all your accounts. Charts could be looking kind of bullish today. Yeah, if we start to break to the upside, bullish. So again, the answer is no there, Ryan. Right now, if you're on a Project X platform and you want to copy trade, you can only copy trade within the native platform, which is what I do, right? I got my Top Step accounts loaded up right here. I got 3 of them being copy traded right here. But then I will have top one futures accounts, and I would be able to do the same thing. I'm able to copy trade 3 of them, right? That's the max accounts that we're gonna be able to have with top one futures. And then I also have Tradeify, where I'm able to copy trade 5 of them through TradeSyncer. So if you have multiple firms all with Tradeovate, which many guys get set up with, you can trade off of one lead account. But I love Project X. I'm super hyped, super bullish on it. It's my preferred platform. I can only use the native copier on that right now, which means come tomorrow, I will have 3 groups to be copy trading at best. If I wanted to copy trade 5 from Tradeify, 5 from Top Step, and 3 from Top 1 Futures, I would have to do those all individually, which still helps, right? Because I don't have to copy trade 13 separate, I don't have to trade 13 separate individual accounts. But I'm looking forward to when the day comes where Project X is integrated. We're able to have API access for TradeSyncer, which I dropped the link in there if you want to check it out. You can try it free for 7 days. And I could just copy trade as much or as little as I want right off of one lead account. So I hope that answers the question. And again, for those reasons, for those of you that hopped on late, I'm going to get stupid aggressive in these. I already started to. I'm going to get stupid aggressive in these Tradeify accounts because it's just too much for me to handle. I'll probably take some higher time frame trades on them as well. Just kind of let them play out, as they go. It's just a lot to handle, right? I do a ton of content. I do a lot of live streaming with you guys. I run a community. I put a ton of educational content out. To do that and also be trading multiple sets of accounts throughout the day is difficult, especially if I just have specific sessions that I trade, right? You could try to swap between multiple accounts and hit buy and then manage across. I think that's crazy to do, so I trade them in batches, but that's kind of just the thought process there. Again, different people handle this stuff different ways. I like copy trading. I like leveraging it. I like keeping my risk really small and being able to spread that across multiple accounts and amplify those wins. But it presents an interesting challenge if you can't copy trade them all at the same time. Soon, with TradeSync that I dropped in there, we should be able to. So that's the long-winded explanation. But right now, if you said, hey, I want to copy trade everything, get set up on everything with Tradeovate, you know, if you want to try to, and you can run that through TradeSync, copy trade across firms. But appreciate you guys hopping on here with me. You got it, Ryan. Smash the like button, guys. If you're on here, help me out. You don't have to do anything. Free means free. But if you're on here, help me get some exposure. We got a handful of you guys on here. Smash the like button, man. If you got any questions on Top 1 Futures, let me know in the chat. The new firm that is going live tomorrow. I was streaming the platform. I don't have the ability to stream it today with you guys live. Tomorrow I'll be live trading them as soon as I get the accounts, hopefully in the morning, if I'm able to. But if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Super exciting, straight to funded on Project X. Talking a little bit more about it, it is going to be the best prices in the industry as of right now for a straight to funded. It is going to be the most flexible rule set, in my humble opinion. Clear rules, fastest time to pay out, quickest way to get to a payout, fastest payout processing speed, fastest customer support, pretty much taking the cake across the board. They are going to keep it as a real, as real as you can get with looking for profitable traders. They're going to limit you to 3 accounts. They're going to kick you to live in just 3 payouts from the same account, but they incentivize the heck out of it in the live account with a live scaling program. Ability to scale to $2.5 million in a just a live environment. Not live funded, a live environment. So really, really cool features there. I'm super bullish on it. Super bullish on it, obviously. Right? I'm partnered with them. You hear me talking about it. Majority of my content this week is going to be yapping about it. Just trying to get it out there and, share my opinions. So I'm super psyched. Super psyched on it. Just kind of watching some chop here ahead of the 10 a.m. news. Now, if we didn't have news and I was anticipating a break to the upside, I could consider a long here first. Again, if we crack the downside, I want it short. I want it short to that prior day volume point of control, that area of high volume down there. I think just a test of that level, even if we're going to move higher, is in store. But right now we're sitting right at VWAP, and I don't have clear action. This is just structure back and forth, right? Chopping through, right? And now we broke to the downside, broke to the upside, and now we're back down at VWAP. Do I think we're going to bounce here off of VWAP? I don't know. Do I think we're going to sell off here through VWAP? I don't know. We have no clear direction. I would say this is not very clear-cut direction so far. If we just look at this regular trading hours so far, which a lot of guys like to do, this is not really clean, in my humble opinion. Now, you could take it long from here. You could take it on a long to the upside right here, right now, right? Now we got a little bit better way to structure risk. You could just be looking for a 1-to-1 coming right up to these highs, anticipating that we don't break this low. And then if we do, and you get stopped out, right, we're looking for a short. This is kind of, if we hit that, great. We took a win. Awesome. We don't hit that. We come through this low. Well, I'm short bias. I'm looking for something to the downside and, take a second follow-up trade to the downside. I think that's not a bad way to structure this, right? Maybe we get some structure like this. And, you would take 1L and one win, or potentially just 1 win right off the rip. Kind of what I'm looking at here. Again, what's keeping me back from executing on any of this? News, red folder news in 2 minutes, guys. Red folder news coming up in 2 minutes. There's your warning a couple times. I'd be real cautious if you're in a position on ES, NQ, YM, gold, really anything. I'd be cautious. Not a major news event. It's not NFP like we got on Friday. It's not FOMC. Could be pretty uneventful, but I would be cautious of this. So I don't like to just jump right into news. I don't like to actively, intentionally trade news if I don't have to. So could be difficult, right? You know, oftentimes what happens is we get a move, right? And we get the crack to the upside and you're not in it, or we get the crack to the downside and we're not in it. But I'm going to be staying out on this one, kind of watch what develops and then be able to go from here. If you hopped on late, welcome to the show. Appreciate you being here. Smash the like button, hit subscribe so you can chat tomorrow if you want to be able to chat. Keep subscriber mode on, try to keep the trolls out. I have top 1 futures getting ready to roll for tomorrow on Project X. If you hopped on late and you were looking for that, nobody has access to the platform right now. They are getting ready to go live with it tomorrow. So I have TradingView loaded up here with Tradeify accounts behind this, 5 of them. I got Top Step over on the side. But if you guys have questions on top 1 futures, more than happy to talk about it, to answer questions. We talked a lot about it yesterday. I'm going to have a ton of videos coming out this week. I got them all recorded. Just getting ready for dropping them. Probably starting today or tomorrow. Doing comparisons, talking about the rule set, all the details I think that go into making a decision on where to put your hard-earned money. And then a full tutorial series on Project X. Full tutorial series. So here we go into Red Folder News, guys. Coming up right now.
The market is in pre-open. The market is open.
There is our wick to the downside. You can see a little bit of the lag that I was talking about there on TradingView. There's our wick to the downside. Sellers didn't want to take it lower. Sellers did not want to take it lower just yet. And we got a pretty even spread of liquidity today. We got a lot of orders above and below price. Really haven't been talking about Bookmap too much right now. Not much on NQ. Yeah, we got a pretty even spread. I'll show you guys Bookmap, just kind of what I'm looking at. This is Bookmap, my favorite order flow tool. If you don't know what this is, link down in the description of this video if you want to check it out for yourself with a discount. Again, I'm partnered with really all of the tools that I actually utilize and enjoy that I think are helpful because I would use them anyway. But we are chopping back and forth here on Bookmap, and we can see we do have stacks above and below. But we got pretty even, stacks on the book. It's not like we have a massive prominent level with 500 or, 800, 1,000 lots sitting somewhere, at least just relatively close to price. Pretty thick to the upside. I will say that if we start to break to the upside, I could absolutely see that happening quickly. But right now we're looking like we want to test these lows. And man, I'm just not sold on this, man. This is ugly. I'm really not sold on this either way. This is ugly, guys. This is not really clean price action. Outside of this zone, we're going to start to make a decision. But oftentimes, you know what happens, right? If we consolidate like this, back and forth, and we want to move to the upside, what do we do first? We come down here, sweep the lows, fake out to the downside, and then continue. So do I want to be the first seller here or the first buyer off these highs? Not really. I think we might move quickly, and I'm not going to have a good way to structure risk if I don't take it quickly. And right now, it is looking like we want to move to the downside. I think I'm going to try this short. I think I'm going to be the first buyer or seller out of this zone. Trying it short. If we start to break, I think we can quickly move down to this level right here. Show you what this looks like and just start to eyeball this up. This is a feature I do like with... Yeah, I'm not taking this, man. I'm not going to take this short. It might rip to the downside. I would look for a test of this level right here. You know, again, yesterday's volume point of control. We're trying to come out of this, but we're still chopping here. This is really not doing much for anyone's day here. You know, we come through the highs. Again, I like it long, but it's kind of just a breakout either way out of this area of consolidation. You know, 30-minute orb breakout, essentially. But this is a choppy back and forth movement and just really directionless so far. So I'm cautious buying off the highs, right? Because I would have lost here. Selling off the lows, I would have lost here, right? Stop loss probably would have been right there. So far, just keep myself out of chop. Now, again, we start to sell off. I have a reason to believe we're going to continue lower down to that area. I could take that. Yeah, we come back down on this. I'm going to try it. I think we're going to right now. I'm going to try this short, guys. Nothing crazy on risk. Yeah, I'm going to go up above. Yeah, I'm going to go up above this level, at least for now. I'm going to eyeball this. Again, I'm selling off the lows here. I'm anticipating a breakout. I'm actually going to, I'm going to go wide on this for right now. I might manage it if it comes back up. I'm going to go really wide on this for now. Again, I'm getting more aggressive in these accounts. I'm going to put my stop and my take profit very wide on this and just look to actively manage it. Pulling back right off the lows. I'm going to allow for a test of this level. Like I said, more aggressive in these accounts. Attempting this short to the downside. We do have some liquidity that's starting to build down at 56.20. We're past this news. I think potentially we do set up for a bullish day. I'm looking for a breakout to the downside of this consolidation first. If I'm wrong, I'm dead wrong, and I'm going to look for a second follow-up trade to the upside. But I'm looking for a movement back down to this area down here. Again, not going to hold, probably not going to hold all the way down here. I would look to just grab this quickly. Don't know that I would want to hold all the way up to this stop loss, but, you know, I have to accept that risk, right? Even if you run an emergency stop way up here, you know, somebody could sneeze, say tariff, and it rockets to your stop. But I am running this pretty damn wide right now just to allow for some movement because I think we can wick back up here, test VWAP, maybe crack even higher through this area, and then aggressively sell off. But I want this for the breakout to the downside. We start to move, I'll probably tighten this up. Just a little bit more of a dynamic way to manage this. But I'm short 3 contracts, looking for a breakout of this consolidation. Came down, put some structure into the downside, right? We're selling off from these highs. I'm looking for this to continue. If not, and we're just going to chop all day, I'm going to take the stop out. But I'm going to get a trade on these accounts. Got to get some trading in. Like I said, got to make room for top one. This is a valid one for me. Nice. Starting to get some movement to the downside. Like I said, guys, this is not a final target. This is not a final stop. I'm going to manage this as I see fit. I'm going to grab some profit on it, you know, when I'm comfortable. I'd like to see a push a little bit further down, and I might look to grab it. We have quite a bit down at 07, 08. I could see a push down there. Really would like to see this continue, so it is not, so I can confirm that it's not the fake out down below real quick before we just blast off to the upside. But I'm gonna hold on to this one for now. This is just not enough of the move. Again, gonna manage this one with some discretion here, guys. That's the way that I trade. Discretionary with my trade management for the most part on ES. Here in the morning, I've talked about this a lot. Leaving my stop loss where it is and letting the trade play out while grabbing quicker profits really would help me. I just have too many trades that come back to stop me at break even and then continue to let that happen. So I'm gonna hold on to this one for a little bit. We are at an interesting level, right? This is overnight low. We're testing this area. This might be all we need to do before we continue back up to the upside. I want to see us come through this area of low volume quickly and head down lower. That's what I'm holding for, a movement down towards this level. We might not get it, right? So the quickest, easiest thing to do is just snag your profit now. If you're, looking at this to the downside, you caught a nice breakout, you caught 11 points on ES. You could do that every day and make great money, no problem. I got wide risk on this to start. I'd like to see this thing continue to the downside. I don't know that we're going to get it today. I'm watching Bookmap and it's not making me real comfortable with it. Some liquidity down at 5,600. I like that. I would, at very best, be holding for a movement down here. But again, I'm going to actively manage this, right? Meaning I'm probably going to close out before either one of these hits until, unless we just rock it, to one or the other. But we'll see how this one starts to play today. Appreciate you guys being on here. If you jumped on late, what's up? Smash the like button. Help me out. We're short from, I am short from 56.25 3/4. When I say we, I'm talking about myself. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. I'm just an idiot from YouTube. Trading's risky. If you trade, you're probably going to lose money. Do your own research. Make your own trading decisions. All the fun disclaimer stuff. Yeah, I don't know about this one, guys. I'd love to see it continue. I don't want to clip a good trade. I'm trying to zoom out just to keep myself in. Nice. There we go. Let's get some movement to the downside here. Really would like to see this continue through the 10s, the 12 trading. We got some liquidity at 56.10. We got some liquidity at 5,600 to the downside on Bookmap. I don't know. I don't know that we continue through this. It's been kind of choppy right here around overnight low. Just my read of price action and market structure, trying to discern this to the best of my abilities. But I would like to see a crack down to this level. It'd be pretty sweet if we could get this. I don't know that I'm not going to leave it on until down here. I can tell you that right now. I'm going to grab it if we get another push through these 56.10s. I'm going to mark it out. There we go. I am out there, guys. Oh, let me get out of here. Cancel. I am out right there through the 56.10s. We may just continue to rip to the downside. I just don't like the way this looks from a higher time frame perspective. I'm not super convinced on order flow that we continue to sell off. So I'm going to grab my quick, let's see what that actually turned out to be. We had 225 bucks showing in profit. But again, the way that I scalp to the downside is, or upside for that matter, is quick. Like I talked about, wide risk on that, right? I have to accept that if I run a stop loss like that, even an emergency stop, eventually Trump's going to say tariff or somebody's going to sneeze and it's going to rocket. I'm going to take that full loss. But like I said multiple times, if we started to come back up, I would discretionarily manage that. I would probably close out if we started to push to the upside, if we form structure back up, not realize that full risk. I wanted to allow for an initial wick up here without being stopped out. But that's not the the real risk structure that I want to really realize. Have to accept it, but that I want to realize. So I'm happy with that. Let's see, 208. I'm gonna try to get this because it's always different. Let's get the exact number here. 204.54 times 5, and one of them is a 208.29. So a little bit of a discrepancy there. So 204.54 times 4. I like to be exact with you guys, right? If I'm going to talk about profits, 208.29 plus 208.29. 1,026 bucks and 45 cents across some accounts. Green, nothing to be upset about there, right? Probably right around that. Yeah, I think I was getting short right through these lows. Maybe 18, 20 points on ES. More than happy with that. More than happy with that, man. W on the live stream. Again, not holding on for this all the way down to this area. I think we are likely to reach it. We look like we want to continue here. But again, I'm cautious that we just wick down below this level, kind of get close, come through this level, this area of low volume, and then really, really aggressively push to the upside. We do have liquidity up here building. We had a really, really big rally. We had somewhat of a similar movement yesterday and a big rally yesterday. We could see something like that today. We could see this kind of frustrating sell-off into the open and then an aggressive push back up to the upside. So for those reasons, I'd rather just grab my trade, be happy with it, not capitalize on the next $100 to $150 in potential profit, per account. But yeah, happy with that. Quick W, in and out, get in, get out, get paid. That's the deal. Not aggressive as I would like to be, but a little bit more aggressive. Let's talk to the chat. What's up, guys? Hey, my trading entry rules put me in before 10 a.m. Still in a trade, and market moves opposite direction with a lot of strength. Got you. Is there a graphic that outlines the different strictly funded accounts? Not yet, Kim. Not yet. Coming up soon. If you have specific questions, I can answer them here. But on the I'll do a run through real quick after I read the rest of this. Negative news most of the time. Opposite correlation. Got wicked out for my buy. All good. Had a re-entry to sell. Break even for me, fam. News didn't yield normal results. But we'll see till 10 a.m. on the bullish news call out. A lot of chop today from different news all at once. Yep. Good morning, Jess. What's up? Andre. Yeah. One and done pre-market. Glad I did. Price looks terrible. Yep. Appreciate you. Good trade. Meant after bullish, not financial advice. 11 a.m. Right after 11 a.m. Yep. So Ryan's calling out an 11 a.m. reversal. A lot of guys look around that time frame, to start to see some reversals around that 11 a.m. Time. I can definitely see that happening today. Again, I'm not convinced in this just massive sell-off to the downside. I don't know that we even go and test this level. It's not a bad target to be holding for, but I grabbed it on quick push through liquidity down through the 5610s right around this level here. As long as the price doesn't break previous day's 50%, I am not looking short. I feel that. Yeah, we'll see what we get from here. Really strong reaction to the upside. Like, I'll tell you what I'm going to look for into the afternoon right here, right now. Really strong reaction back up to the upside. I'm going to be looking long. I'm going to be looking long above this level through this area of high volume. If we come back here and crack this VWAP, I think we're going to come and pick up liquidity to the upside. We're going to come and fill orders. Conversely, we continue to sell off, or we get a retest up here and then a continuation of the downside. I do think we're going to see a correction. I do think we're going to erase some of that rally from yesterday and head back down. But this is the first area to come and check out, right around that 5,600. Again, took my trade, 10 points before there. Not worried about it. We start to get down through that level, like Wolf said, your 50% level. If you're looking at 50, yeah, we're getting close. Yeah, this is just not beautiful structure so far. I mean, we finally made a move to the downside. Good read, right? Why did I take that trade? Let's kind of talk about that. Again, we had a level of high volume down below here, right? Visible range volume profile helped me out. But just structure, right? After we chopped enough, I have to make the conscious decision. Do I want to sell for the breakout out of these levels? I do. We have some structure coming through VWAP, breaking and retesting. We pulled back up. Buyers tried to take it higher a handful of times, and we just couldn't. And on that move back down to the downside, I'm okay taking that one. Again, very wide stop loss. Wanted to allow for a quick wick up here. Maybe even just like to that level before continuation of the downside. But if we started to get structure, like we came down, we did something like this, like, we didn't break overnight low and we started to form to the upside, I'd probably take that off, if we just had a lot of time passing and no continuation. So, yeah, $1,000 across some accounts on Tradeify. Again, not a lot of progress there. Really going to have to get aggressive, which I probably will continue to do this afternoon. Second trade that I'd be looking for on these bad boys would be a continuation to the upside, or some kind of more clear structure to form to the downside rather than just a continuation of this grind. we just grind lower, I'm not going to be in it. You know, just not going to play for me. So we'll see what we get there. 56.03, and yeah, coming up to it. Wolf, cool. Probably a VWAP anchored to the break and pivots and a short maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure on this one. Again, we have Trump calling tomorrow Liberation Day and tariffs go into effect. Again, I'm not a fundamental guy, but I'm aware of high impact financial news events or just general events like U.S. politics, geopolitics that are scheduled and planned that we know are going to happen, and what that means for price action and market structure. Traditionally, if there's a large event tomorrow, like there is, we might see some anticipation out of market participants, and that's printed in price by way of a choppy consolidating market, not a big movement where everybody is, everybody is comfortable positioning themselves ahead of something like that. So that's the thought process there on today, maybe being choppy and rangy. Maybe we see some selling off because of that, right? We just see some risk off movements. But first day of the month, first day of a new quarter as well. A lot going on this week, man. NFP on Friday. There's a lot going on this week. So caution while being aggressive in the in the spots that you're comfortable being aggressive in, recognizing your risk, structuring your risk, accepting on the front end like you watched me do with my stop loss to say, hey, that's a wide stop, kind of an emergency stop, but I got to recognize that anybody can do whatever, the market can do whatever it wants, forget anybody doing anything, and it rocket right to my stop loss and slip me for a couple points. You have to accept that on the front end, otherwise you're all pissed off when it happens, right? So that's important. But continuing to grind lower, putting lows of the session in right now, trading 604. Looking like we want to break down towards that 5,600 level. Go pick up some liquidity down there. Showing you what we're looking at. You're coming into it right now at the 603.5 level. This is the liquidity that I'm looking at. This is the algorithmic stuff. Nice breaking and filling. We got volume being traded to the downside. 5,600 right here. We got some liquidity on the book. Yeah, looking like we want to come right down into that, man. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Bookmap kind of tripping out on me. Yeah, bookmap is tripping out on me. There we go, trading at the 5,600. So, yeah, again, today, being a little bit more patient and just hanging on to that trade for a continuation all the way down to this area of high volume would have paid. Again, I think on another day, being a little bit more cautious on a day like today where we kind of crack down into this area of low volume and then come directly back up just to slice around VWAP is equally in play. So I'm happy with my trading decision, more than happy with it actually. But, here we go, playing out today. That initial target would be getting hit right now. This is why the target was down here initially. This was the beginning thesis of this move. We come down through this. Okay, first off, we have market structure and price action, right? Then we have our volume profile. We have a horizontal level, an area of interest, whatever you want to call it, right? Area of high volume that I think we might approach if we break to the downside. I think we might do it quickly like we did. Simple. Does this play out all the time? Absolutely not, right? On another day, I'm definitely stopped on that. On another day, we don't break this low. We are just consolidating, or we come towards overnight low and we crack back up. No magic, no 100% win rate, none of that crap. Not at all. Just maybe a little bit more of the time, one thing happening than another. Over a large sample size. Questions, concerns, feel free to let me know in the chat. Let's talk about if price doesn't bamboozle like yesterday, we can short it, I guess. But price has a tendency to bamboozle. That's a highly technical term there, bamboozle. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know what time tariff talk is. They're just supposed to go into effect tomorrow, so I'm not exactly sure about that. But we'll be watching. I think tomorrow's going to be a wild ride for sure. I'll be live with you guys. Hopefully I get my hands on the account early morning and can get everything set up, and we'll be trading on Top 1 futures on Project X. Excited for that, man. Kim, if you're on here, guys that are on here, I'll give you a little bit more info. talking about the 150K account, top 1 futures. This is the insider info. Let's get some insider info going. Not really insider info. Sorry, guys. Just fixing one thing on the stream here. Let's get... There we go. Get some fresh music rolling. Right. So, talking about the 150K account for top 1 futures. We're looking at the best price in the industry. And again, this is launching tomorrow. The link's in the chat. It's not live. It's not going to take you to any site yet. It's launching tomorrow. Going live tomorrow, I should say, right? Because they did the launch Monday. We talked about it. You got the info. You got an address from the CEO. Let me link that first, man, just before I get ahead of myself. If you haven't seen this already, you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, watch this video. This is top 1 futures coming from the long-standing Forex and CFD prop firm, Top 1 Trader. This is straight from their CEO and gives a lot of information on who these guys are, you know, what they stand for, what they don't stand for. I would definitely watch that video. It's awesome. But exciting stuff coming for these guys. Just a little bit of info since I keep getting asked on it. I'm not going to post anything about it, but a little bit of info. The 150K account is going to be $399 with the current 50% off discount code RDF. $399 for a straight to funded. 20% consistency rule because it is a straight to funded account, but $6,000 max loss limit. You have a end of day trailing loss limit, not intraday on unrealized profit, end of day. You have a 3,750 soft breach daily loss limit, but that can be removed at checkout for an additional fee if you want to utilize the whole $6,000, which I don't think you need to with a 20% consistency rule, but that's up to the trader. Here's where it's wild. There's no minimum trading days. Technically speaking, there's no 10 days that you need to trade. There's no $200 days. There's none of that. There's just the consistency rule and a minimum payout amount of $3,000, 2% of the account, $3,000. If you hit that in 5-6 days, you're able to request up to 100% of profit in your account, near 100%, right? If you get over the $3,000 mark, you're able to take out $3,000. You wouldn't want to do that because obviously you're going to put the account in a really bad spot with what you have to work with after you take a payout. But that is the highest percentage and the quickest way to pay out of any account that I'm aware of right now, and especially a straight to funded account. $5,000 max payout, right? You work your way past the $5,000 mark, you can pull $5,000 out of the account. You're able to do that multiple times before getting moved to a live account. You also have a drawdown that locks at $150,100, unlike Tradeify, which locks at $156,100. It's similar to Top Step, where it stops trailing right around that initial account balance, right? Along with that, the clearest path, fastest path to live, maybe not, I shouldn't say clearest, but the fastest path to live that I'm aware of. 3 payouts from the same account, you're getting considered for a live account. Considered doesn't mean you automatically get moved, right? They're going to look at your trading. In that live account, there is a super aggressive scaling plan. You're incentivized to get moved live. You can scale up to $2.5 million by hitting profit targets and payout goals. You are limited in certain areas. This is built around being a platform for profitable traders, not the 47,000 copy traded accounts that are $4 each, right? It's not about being the cheapest or about having the most accounts. You're limited to 3 accounts copy traded. In my humble opinion, that's very, very fair given the $6,000 max loss limit, not the $4,500 that we see at other firms, and the ability to take a payout without having to trade for 10 days or without having to trade to a $9,000 profit, right? If we're looking at Tradeify, in order to get to your first payout, you have to make $9,000 and you can pull out $3,000. You're pulling out a third of the profit in the account, and you have to hit a $9,000 profit target before you can do that. You don't have that with Top One. So in my humble opinion, an extremely, extremely attractive opportunity for futures traders that are looking at themselves as being confident, that have an edge in the market, that are willing to go straight to a funded account, no wasting time in an eval, right? You don't have to make $9,000 in profit in an eval that you're never going to be able to take out and then just start from scratch again. You're starting from scratch day one, putting profit into an account that you could potentially withdraw if you meet the other requirements, if you meet the minimum payout, if you meet the consistency rule, if you follow all the other rules. News trading's allowed. No other crazy rules as far as I'm aware. No other wild subjective rules. There is a micro scalping rule they look at. They want a minimum hold time on trades. I think it's 10 seconds. But as far as I'm aware, even that is, going to be looked at, right? Essentially, they're not going to allow you to just game the system in any kind of crazy way. No hedging accounts, none of that crap. They have a really strong back-end system to prevent all of that. Profit split is 100% up to the first 20K. First class there. I think that's solid. Payouts are the fastest that I've heard of. So you have an option, right? You have an option for the standard, which is a payout window similar to Tradeify, or on-demand payout. On-demand payout for an additional fee, just like that just like that intraday. You have 2 options, the daily loss limit and the payout option. You can leave it standard, which is a 3,750 daily loss limit, soft breach, where it just stops you from trading, or you can pay to have that removed, and a on-demand payout option, which means you're able to request it, and the payout processing speed on average is under 4 hours. Under 4 hours. It's faster than anything I've seen. Along with that, you might say, what about customer support? 60-second average response time for 24/7 live chat support. Not a call-in, right? Some other options are call-in. That's, I think, pretty badass. But most of the stuff you get is business hours only, or they're taking hours to respond. These guys are responding on average within a minute's time, and you're talking to a live person 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You might ask, Zach, that sounds great. I've seen a lot of these firms pop up. New guys or people that are, in their basement in a hoodie. Is this legit? How do I know it's legit? This is coming from Top One Trader, long-standing, years in the business, Forex and CFD prop firm. There are real faces behind the name. It's not a faceless profile. You can hear the address directly from the CEO right in that video that I posted. There's also multiple other guys that are industry professionals, traders themselves, that have a long-standing business, reputation and experience doing this already. You can look at the reputation of Top One Trader. You can look at their reviews. If they ever have payouts, payout issues, or any of that stuff, do your own due diligence. They're listed on Prop Firm Match. They're on Trustpilot. You can read through all of this stuff yourself. It's not a white labeled couple kids trying to get together and turn a profit. This is coming from a long-standing CFD and Forex prop firm, which I think is a massive advantage in being able to trust that you're going to get paid out if you follow all the rules, which we know is very important. So for those reasons, all those reasons, I'm partnered with these guys. Again, I'm biased on this. I stand to make money from the links in the content and promotion. You can grain of salt everything that I'm saying. But if you watch my content, you've been watching what I've been putting out over the last year. Yeah, I'm a little over a year now, year and a couple months. I think you've heard my stories, the way that I've talked about having the devil essentially handing me a silver platter if I wanted to. I could have sold out for a bunch of different terrible stuff for the trader a long time ago, right? You can go back and watch my videos where I talk about Cortana. Happy to name them. They were a HFT, CFD, and Forex prop firm pass, right? Had the HFT to pass them. I could have marketed the hell out of it, become an affiliate for them, and sell the HFT. But I traded with them first to make sure, that it was something legit because I was skeptical. And guess what? I had a good reason to be skeptical. They changed rules on me and I got denied a payout, thousands of bucks that I was owed. Did I become first? I was never affiliated with them, but did I get affiliated with them and sell the HFT and make money, 5 times to Sunday and drive a Lambo right now? No, because I have a conscience and a soul, and I actually didn't make money doing that myself. I got scammed by them, and I wouldn't want to set everybody else up to be scammed that way. Does that mean I always know what's right and I have the best read of everything? Of course not, right? I don't know everything that's going to happen in the way that plays out, but I think that's an open and honest story. I have the videos of me passing everything. I made jokes about myself getting denied the payout. I shared the payout denial. I talked about the rule change that went into effect while I had everything documented. So you can kind of make your opinion on me and my opinion, from some of this stuff. I think that can be important to do. But at the end of the day, the bottom line is I'm not going to convince you one way or the other, and that's not my intention. Do your own due diligence, make your own decisions, right? At the end of the day, listening to me here on YouTube or my community or the CEO speaking or any of that stuff, reading the rules, you have to make your own decision. At the end of the day, you're 100% responsible, right? You want to put your money with XYZ, you want to try something out, you're on the hook for that. You're the only one that's going to suffer if you lose your money, and it's up to you to make those decisions. So I always encourage you. Again, nothing I say is financial advice, a suggestion, or recommendation to do anything. Do your own research, make your own decisions. 100% important. And do your own due diligence. Judge everybody harshly, the way that I do. I've been burned more times than I like to admit, right? My Forex funds, Cortana, FTMO eventually got rid of US traders. I got smoked across the board, man. Just absolutely cooked. So I'm a harsh judge of this stuff. I'm extremely bullish when opportunities present themselves. But do your own research, make your own decisions. But again, I've done my research. That's why, I'm here talking about it. That's why I'm purchasing accounts as soon as I'm available to. That's why I've been, partnered with these guys and behind the scenes being able to, show you guys the platform yesterday. I'm super excited for this opportunity. And like their CEO said, which I think is super, super level-headed, really awesome way to discuss things openly. They're going to make mistakes, right? They're not reinventing the wheel, and they're not going to be perfect. And what he said yesterday in that video that you could watch is that they're going to try not to make mistakes. They're going to try to make sure they're as close to perfect as they possibly can. And if they do, they're going to make it right, right? Nobody gets everything 100%, certainly not in the prop firm industry. But I think coming at it with that mentality and being open about that is very different than we're the best in the world, everybody else sucks, drama on everywhere, and this is the best thing since sliced bread. No, nothing's, we could be hyped up about it the way that I am. But I think coming at it that way was really awesome, man. It's why I'm so bullish on it. It's really why I'm so bullish on it. But yeah, watching the market, guys. I'm not so happy about my close down here. I'm not so upset about my close down here already. If you guys hopped on late, I put a little over $1,000 in my Tradeify accounts. I got short on this breakout to the downside. Right down here, had a really wide stop loss. Very wide up here, captured a negative risk reward on this one. Jumped out somewhere around this 10-11 point range. Excuse me, 56.10, 56.11. I could actually look at the actual close if I needed to. Yeah, it looks like I got filled at 56.11.50 and 56.12. So that was my trade to the downside. But I'm happy with that. Happy with that. If you jumped on late, we're talking about Top 1 Futures, the new firm launching. Super, super, super hyped. You can check out that video that I posted. You can check out all the links in the pin to the top of this chat. 50% off starting tomorrow, code RDF. If you like what I do here, you want to support me, support the channel, support yourself, use code RDF. I stand to make money from that. So, do your own research, make your own decisions. Got Burma Cortana, had a $5,300 payout denied. Nice for account management. Oh yeah, 2024 was a waste of time with props. In personal and growing nicely now. I have discipline. We'll diversify more this summer. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Have seen fair share. I've been burned mostly by CFDs, and I can't tell. I can tell top one will be legit. Absolutely, man. Yeah, man. Blasting off here. Thing is, people should be open to genuine feedback and make changes in bends. That's the best sign we could have. Absolutely. MNQ reached the VWAP, so unless it has huge resistance from here and sells off, it's going to go up. Yeah, this looks like, yeah, we're blasting through, guys. This looks like a bull signal all the way to the upside. Currently long America. Andre's long America. Again, I know I talked through that recovery. You know what I want to look at, break above. But here we go, back up to this area of high volume. I'm glad I didn't hold all the way down, although I probably would have got my take profit. Ooh, we didn't hit 5,600. I think I had my take profit initially like right here. You know, that would have been the original one. But this looks like a long, guys. We have a very similar structure for yesterday, right? Not exactly the same because we consolidated first and then we sold off. But massive recovery back through VWAP with force. This, you know, getting long over here wouldn't have been a bad play with a stop loss down here, but this looks like a long play all the way back up through overnight high and prior day high if we are actually going to check that out. So that I'm going to be watching for this into the afternoon. What I like to do if I'm going to do that, I go ahead and do stuff like this. I just add alerts on here. And if I step away from the screen, it you know, I can enter it from my mobile if I want to, which I don't do here on Tradeify and Top Step, excuse me, Trading View. Too many team names. But I can hop back on the desk real quick and look for a trade. So I'll probably be looking at alert above that level. Maybe we get some structure down here first, but I'd be looking at this long for a move to the upside. This looks pretty good. Again, cautious that we just chop back around here, right? We're returning to VWAP. You know, definitely want to be cautious that we just kind of sit around this level, chopping around. But I do like this to the upside. If we conversely, if we sell off really harshly, I could see us coming lower again and you know really erasing a lot of this move, coming back towards the opening price from yesterday. You know, pushing to the downside. But yeah, no, I think this is going to be a bullish move. I'm looking back from the Sunday night open. This looks like we don't want to come lower. Buyer stepping in, bringing this thing higher. So yeah, I'd be looking at this long, higher time frame. I'd be looking at this long. What's going to get me in? Maybe coming back up above this session high. Cracking this initial balance high, right? Because this is the 10-20 candle. So technically this is going to be IB high and IB low. We break that to the upside. We more often than not by a strong margin do not come back down and break this side. I could be looking at a move to the upside. Cautious that we just start to chop here though, that we kind of drift higher, drift lower, and just kind of pull this BS day ahead of tomorrow. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. There we go, bamboozle. Yeah, man, this is it, right? This is the difficulty. This is the difficulty with with trading, man. This is we've been getting tough sessions, man. Really tough sessions. If you're a reversal trader, maybe some of it's playing, but this is tough stuff, man. Not easy. So, in and out on the scalp, that's been working nicely for me. I'm probably going to continue to do that. Like I said, maybe some higher time frame, just let it run trades, and then really aggressive scalping on NQ, which is pretty labor intensive, but this is not the structure to do it whatsoever. Calmer, choppier structure. That's where it works nicely. It's not directional. So on that note, guys, once again, a banger trade on demo. Minimal profits unfunded. Yeah, I feel that. Appreciate you guys being on here. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Remember, guys, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Do your own research. Make your own trading decisions. I'm just an idiot from YouTube. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer all on the bottom of this video. Get ready for tomorrow, guys. I'm going to drop the link one more time so you have it. Again, this isn't live, but I'm giving you my link so you have it ready to roll for tomorrow. This is for Top 1 Futures. Code RDF when you're ready, 50% off. This is going to be tomorrow morning. Straight to funded. all those awesome details that you just talked about on Project X. I'm super hyped about this, guys. Hopefully I get the account early and I'll be trading live with you, but I'll keep you updated in Discord. Hop in the free Discord as we break this high. Looks like a bullish move. Talk to you guys soon. Have a great day.